Everyone, so we are doing the human health and disease where we have done all the disease, but one disease is left, that is fungal disease. So one example of fungal disease is ringworm. It is dermatophytosis. Causative agent of this disease is Microsporium, Trichophyton and Epidermophyton. Mode of transmission from soil or by using towel, clothes, comb, heat and moisture help the fungus to grow. So these are the favorable conditions for the fungus to grow. Symptoms: appearance of dry skin, scaly lesions on various body parts such as skin, nails and scalp. Lesions are accompanied by intense itching. Diagnostic test is by looking the skin. There is no specific type of diagnostic test for this one. So this is the diagram of the ringworm and the affected area. Now one is keynote, that is Mary Mellon, who was the nickname of typhoid Mary, which is the who is the carrier and continued to spread the typhoid for several years through the food she prepared because she was the cook. Now next disease is malaria. So malaria is caused by the plasmodium, which is a tiny protozoan, and different species of plasmodium are there, like plasmodium vivax, plasmodium malaria and plasmodium falciparum, which are responsible for different type of malaria. Now the life cycle of plasmodium. So life cycle of plasmodium is there in two hosts. One is human host, liver of human host, and another is mosquito itself for the completion of its life cycle. So two hosts are required. One is human host and the another is mosquito itself. Let us see the life cycle of the malaria. Malarial parasite. First of all, infected female Anopheles mosquito bite the human. Infected female Anopheles mosquito only, not male, bites the human and plasmodium enters the human body. Now this plasmodium enters the human body, that is in the infectious form, that is the sporozoite, and this will reached via the blood to the liver cells. By the blood it will reach to the liver cell, and in the liver cell it will multiply asexually. Asexual reproduction will be there in the liver cells. Now what is the next thing that this sporozoite will do? It will rupture the RBC. Red blood cells will be ruptured or destroyed by the RBC and release one toxic substance by the this sporozoite, that is the hemojoin, which is the toxic substance which will rupture the RBC. Released parasite now infect the new RBC, and then what will be the symptom of that one? Chill and high fever recurring every 3 to 4 days after a particular time period. Whenever the fever medicine is taken, then it's fine, and then again recurring for 3 to 4 days. Now the sexual stage, this stage is actually inside the human being. Now sexual stage will be there. Sexual stage, that is the gametophytes will be there, develop in the human RBC, and female Anopheles takes up the gameto. Yani gametes formation will be there in the human RBC, and these gametes will be taken again by the female mosquito. If any female mosquito bite the same person, then these gametes will go to that female Anopheles. Now the parasite enter the mosquito's body, and fertilization and development in the mosquito's gut will be there and multiply to form the sporozoite again, mature life infective stage. And this sporozoite is stored in the salivary gland of the mosquito, and when this mosquito will bite again any person, then the sporozoite will transfer in that person and cause the starting of the infection. Now the you can say कि here when any in the diagram it is explained here कि there are two hosts are there. One is human host and another is mosquito host. Asexual reproduction and gamete formation will be there in the human host, and sexual reproduction is there in the mosquito host itself. So from here we can say कि when the mosquito bites the another human, sporozoites like the female anopheles in which the sexual reproduction done, when it will bite the any person, so sporozoid through its saliva, the sporozoid will enter into the body, and then through the blood it will reaches to the liver. Parasite, that is the sporozoid, reach the liver through the blood. Now the asexual reproduction will be there. They will increase their number asexually and bursting the cells and releasing into the blood, and then parasite reproduces asexually in the RBC, bursting the RBC and causing the cycle of fevers and chills. And another, they release the parasite that infect the new RBCs. Now the sexual stage, in sexual stage, the gamete formation is there. Male gamete and female gamete form, that is the gametocytes, develop in the red blood cells of humans. And when again these gametocytes are present inside the human body, when any female mosquito bite the any person, that particular person, so that takes these gametocytes that are formed inside the body, that will be taken up with the blood meal. So here the infected person in which the asexual reproduction done, when any female anopheles bite, then through the blood meal these gametocytes will go to these female anopheles. Then the eggs which are present there inside the female anopheles will be fertilized by the male gametocytes, and fertilization and development takes place in the mosquito's intestine, and then the sporozoites will form that will come and store in the salivary gland. So we can see here कि mature infectious stage, that is the sporozoid formation, these sporozoids escape from the intestine and they will go to the salivary gland of the mosquito and will store there, right? And when this mosquito will bite the another person, then these sporozoids will enter into the blood of the person, another person, right? So in this way a cycle is going on for the stages in the life cycle of plasmodium, in which two hosts are there, human host and mosquito host itself. Next is preventive measures for infectious disease. So first of all, the maintenance of personal and public hygiene. Personal hygiene include keeping the body clean, consumption of clean drinking water, food, vegetable and fruits. Public hygiene include proper disposal of waste and excreta, periodic cleaning and disinfection of water reservoirs, pools and cesspools and tanks, and observing standard practices of hygiene and public catering. So these measures are particularly essential where the infectious agents are transmitted through the food and water like typhoid, amoeboisis and ascariasis. And when we talk about the airborne disease, though, such as for example pneumonia and common cold, so close contact with the infected person should be avoided. For disease like malaria and filariasis, the transmission occur through the insect vectors, right? Carriers are there. So most important measure is to control the eliminate the vector. Just eliminate the mosquitoes and their breeding places, like the water collected in any place or any material water is collected, so take care of that one. Okay, stagnation of water should be avoided around the residential area. Household coolers should be neat and clean. Regular cleaning, use of mosquito nets, and introducing one most important fish in ponds, gambusia, that feed on mosquito larvae, that actually feeds the mosquito larva. So in this way we can prevent them, eliminate them. Spray the insecticides in ditches, drainage areas and swamp. Doors and windows should be provided with mesh to prevent the entry of mosquito. Use of vaccine and immunization program has been enabled to completely eradicate or remove the infectious disease in like polio, diphtheria, pneumonia and tetanus. Now immunity So overall, what is immunity? Actually, the overall ability of the body to fight with the infection is called as immunity. So immunity is basically two type: congenital immunity or innate immunity, acquired immunity or adaptive. Though congenital immunity is by birth, right? Immunity acquired or specific, innate, natural. It is of two type. So acquired or specific is of two type again, natural and artificial. And innate is passive, natural and artificial. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो एक्वायर्ड इम्यूनिटी है दैट इज़ द एक्टिव. नेचुरल कैसे होगी? फॉलो क्लिनिकल और सब क्लिनिकल इन्फेक्शंस. आर्टिफिशियल इंड्यूस्ड बाय वैक्सीनेशन. Passive immunity is yellowish fluid that is called as colostrum, which is released by the mother after the birth of the baby during the initial days of lactation, in which the immunoglobulin A is present. The fetus also receives immunoglobulin G through the placenta during the pregnancy. Artificial injection of preformed antibodies in the body is the artificial. So innate immunity is by birth in most of the animals, and first line defense, and they just make the first line defense of the body. They are just non-specific type and provide different type of barriers to the entry of the foreign agent into the body. Like when we talk about the barriers, so physical or anatomical barrier and physiological barrier is there. So first is skin and mucosal surface. In case of physical barrier, physical barrier is of two type, that is skin and mucosal surface. Skin is outermost layer जो that everybody has. Outermost layer of skin is dead, so the microorganisms do not grow or enter into it, and pH of skin destroys the bacteria. Mucosal surface, generally mucus coating of epithelial lining that lines the respiratory system, gastrointestinal system, and urinogenital tract, also help in trapping the microbes that are entered into the mucosal surface that line the respiratory tract, gastrointestinal tract, and urinogenital tract, that help to trap the microbes that enter into the body. Like in nose, we can say the lining is there that traps the dust particles and the microbes. Physiological barriers, so that include various physiological functions of the body that make the unfavorable environment for the growth of microbe, like pH of body, secretions, and earwax. तो एसिडिक पीएच of various parts of body, like oral cavity. So oral cavity pH is generally acidic. Stomach and vagina inhibit the growth. The pH of these places inhibit the growth of microorganisms. Secretions like tear, saliva, and mucus, they contain the lysozyme enzyme. This enzyme generally kills the microorganisms or destroys the microorganism. Cerumen, which is the earwax, traps the dust particles, kills the bacteria, and repels the insect. Urine itself washes microbes from urethra, which is the urethra is a organ for the nutrition and urine passes. Some cytokine barriers are there, also present there, that are the interferon. These are antiviral proteins. Interferons are generally antiviral proteins. In short, it is also called as IFNS, from cytokine barriers that are from innate immunity, that are generally present by birth. Interferons generally species specific are there, means different type of species of animals has different interferons. So interferons produced by one species can protect only the cells of same species, not the cells of another species. Interferon, what they will do, what is the function of interferon? Resistant to viral infection by synthesis of antiviral proteins. They just make antiviral protein that is resistant to viral infections. So I hope these points are clear to you people. Next is cellular or phagocytic barrier. It is present inside the body. So in response to pathogenic infection, the total number of WBC count also increases. When the pathogenic infection is there, then naturally the WBC, that is white blood cell, will increase in your body, and they will do the phagocytosis. What is phagocytosis? Engulfment of the pathogen or infection causing organism is exhibited by some WBC. Such kind of WBC which do the phagocytosis are called phagocytes. Example है PMNL neutrophils, polymorphonuclear leukocytes that destroy the infection causing organism in case of humans. Most important phagocytes which are the type of WBC actually is macrophage and neutrophils. Macrophage and neutrophils. And monocytes are also there, that are released. Monocytes are also the WBC. They are liberated at the site of infection, and later on these are converted into macrophages which engulf or eat the disease causing organisms. What is macrophages? Large irregular shaped cells that engulf or eat, we can say, and then destroy the microbes, virus, cellular debris, yani the damaged part of the cell in response to an infection. Some other cells are there that are called as NK cells or natural killer cells that cause the cellular destruction if needed then. Next is acquired immunity. Acquired immunity is actually not the by birth immunity, it is acquired from outside. So this immunity is generally pathogen species specific. Means if we have taken the vaccine for polio virus, so it will act only on the polio virus, not on any other microbe or viruses. If it is taken for coronavirus, so it will work for that only. So when our body, whenever the, what is the mechanism of function of that one? Whenever the body is encountered by any pathogen for the first time, so what will be there? Body will give the primary response for that one, which is of low intensity. This primary response is actually of low intensity, and in response to this infection, the body will produce antibodies, right? And then antibodies will fight with that of infection. When further encounters will be there, subsequent encounters will, the same pathogen will be there, then they will show the more intense response, that is called secondary response, highly intensified secondary response, or anamnestic response. This response is of a higher intensity rather than primary. So this is ascribed by the fact that our body appears to have memory. Whenever the body is encountered for the first time, then body develops some memory. That's why we just take the antibodies only for one time, vaccine only for one time, not we are taking the same vaccine again and again, because there is no need. When one time vaccine is taken, then the memory develop for that one, right?